kneel during our national anthem.
Now let me take this one seriously, because isn't that a rule in the NBA?
It is.
That is a rule.
Correct.
So they're never going to have the issue of that, correct?
This came up last year. It dates back to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf a generation ago. It is a rule in the NBA. The U.S. women's soccer, I believe, also made it a rule this year after Megan Rapinoe knelt last year.
Right.
It is obviously not a rule in the NFL, as we have seen.
And now you wonder, we already know about the divide, forgetting what's going on here, the divide between the NFL and the players, that the NFL were to now say, hey, you can't do that anymore for the players that have been doing it. That would be a very interesting way to go. But like I said, the NBA they have done it.
Look, I'm reading this again. I hate to keep cutting off, but look at the wording of this.
Is he DMing you?
The NFL, no. The NFL has all sorts of rules and regulations. The only way out for them is to set a rule that you can't kneel during our national anthem. What he's saying there, if we're going to take it literally, is I'm not letting this go until that's a rule. I mean, that sounds like what he's saying. He's basically saying, I'm not. So, Mike, I asked you this morning, when does this end? How does it go away? Does the president let it go? He's not. I believe that is a definitive message. Until this is a rule in the National Football League, I'm not letting it go.
Well, this is directly now going to go. Everybody's going to want to hear from Roger Goodell or the owners.
And every owner
say,
again.
Are you going to make this a rule? Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen now.
All right, Ryan, go ahead. Sorry.
No, don't be at all. I think well, it's not funny. The irony of this is Goodell probably had as low an approval rating as anybody would talk about day-to-day in sports. Now can somehow this can actually help Goodell.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Goodell come out and say we're not going to have a rule, because if they have a rule, then it'll be perceived as you're trying to control us.
Right.
You are anti our voice. This is a First Amendment issue, which then can be debated because it's a First Amendment in the country, or is a First Amendment at your place of employment. Like, we can't just say whatever we want to say and then scream First Amendment. So I felt like last night it kind of got to peak anthem protest / unity. Like, that felt like once Jerry Jones is down there and then everybody's screen grabbing it. And I don't like to go to memes for all of my stats on social activism, but it's weird how there were complaints that nobody was standing with the players, and we needed white players to put their arms around black players, and we needed to show unity. And then Jerry Jones kind of does the hover knee, where it's knee and then they're up before the anthem. It's like that hover hand of a picture.
Right.
That got made fun of, and then that wasn't real. And I just kind of like at home, and I give up. I'm reading all of it on social media and be like, okay, look, he went out there, he took a knee, and then he stood with all of his guys. And if you don't like Jerry Jones, you don't like Jerry Jones. But he was trying to do something that is not only just unity with his team. I think it's the NFL responding to the president, ripping them for 3 straight days. And then people had a problem with that, man. And at some point I go, well, what is it? What is the perfect way to display whatever it is that we want to display here? Because in the beginning, it was very specific. It was Kaepernick sitting down because of the way he felt police treated black people in this country. And now, and we talked about this yesterday with Will Cain, I've kind of lost sight of what is it now? Is this just the NFL responding back to the president that was ripping them the whole time?
I think this weekend that's what it was about.
It doesn't feel like it's the Kaepernick thing anymore.
And no. At least this weekend, I think, and now I think it goes back to that with some of the still president involved. Because to your point this morning, Green, you said, is it going to end? And I thought coaches would maybe have a talk with the players today before the media comes in and say, hey, guys, let's just, the A personalities here, from the president to the players, let's just move on, and let them tweet. Let's not answer. And I don't know if players would have done that or not. But now where it's gone, you know where it's going to go, is you're going to need a statement now from the NFL. They're going to ask about that and want a statement. Joe Lockhart's going to have to put out some sort of response that is going to say, we're not giving a rule that says you have to stand for the national anthem.
If they gave out a rule, even if they wanted to, it would go over so badly.
Exactly right. So then the president will tweet and say, see, they're continue to disrespect, and this will continue to go on.
Yes, I think that's why I was trying to make a specific point of the wording there. The only way out for them are the words that he chose to use here. Now, those who follow him on Twitter know that sometimes he doesn't always choose his words. It doesn't appear he's choosing them all that carefully, and there were punctuation issues and all sorts of things. But that said, when he's saying the only way out for them is to set a rule, that to me is throwing down the gauntlet. He's basically looking at Goodell, and he's looking at a lot of these owners, many of whom are his friends, Kraft and Woody Johnson, who's overseas right now as the ambassador to the UK, and all these other guys, and he's saying, you make this rule or I'm not letting it go. And
right, but when he addressed the crowd in Alabama on Friday, that's a state, and I looked it up. It was this fourth most supportive state when we look back at the election.
Right,
63% of the vote. Okay, it was only behind 3 other states. So I'm seeing a guy looking at an audience going, "This material is going to slay."
Right.
Like I'm just,
these are my people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw this out there. The SOB term was just way over the top, but I still think without that he was going to get that kind of applause, and he still was going to get that kind of resistance because grown men don't like being told by anybody, no matter what your office is, no matter what your position of power is. Nobody likes being told what to do, especially when you feel like you're being done wrong on this whole thing. So I don't know if it's just tweet after tweet. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And I sifted through it this weekend as Greeny keeps updating us this whole time. But is it the type of thing where it goes over so well with the base that he's just going to keep doing it? Like sometimes we can get really caught up if people around us are telling us how great we're doing the entire time, and we can be off. But the people closest to us are saying, "Yeah, keep it going." Then you're going to think you're killing it.
What I haven't seen is, and we're searching it, any responses from players at this point.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be. Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to.
Yeah.
But so I don't know.
It's in the last 3 hours, he has tweeted 7 times, 4 of them about the National Football League. Ryen Russillo, every single day here. Coast to coast on here. Great to see you again, my man. Great to have you back. Paul Feinbaum will join us coming up shortly. What?
Bomb.
Paul Feinbaum.
I gave up. I used to get so annoyed with Greeny, too, on that whole thing, and then I heard